Welcome to this week's I-26 update. We have a couple of surprises, a couple of not quite surprises, and a lot of visible work. The paving near 191 took a little less time to get started than I thought. Not really surprising, but at the same time it was, oh, really? Now. Parkway Bridge is blowing my mind. And south we have more paving and a lot of sign anchors getting put into place. And we have a major drain. So I'll get to that. Okay. Coming up the hill to 191, we have the beginning of all of this, and if you like this stuff, this kind of thing, please comment and tell me all about it. And even if you don't like it, comment and tell me all about it, you know? I could still use some good feedback. And then do the whole like, subscribe, and so forth, because then YouTube will tell other people that like this kind of stuff to watch my stuff. And I'm still not making any money off of it. Oh well. Alrighty, coming under the 191 bridge. Unfortunately, it got graffitied within days of being finished, which was sad. In between the two bridges on the left-hand side there. I remember seeing that and going, dang it. Oh, circus is in town. The circus is in town today. And it should be here until October. That's usually how long they stay. So we've got a little bit of a surprise coming over the hill here. I was thinking that it might take them a full week to get the paver refreshed and turned around, but nope. It took them about 3 days, maybe 4. Because they started paving, I think it was Wednesday morning, Wednesday night or Wednesday morning. And so they've got the paving finished from just uphill of the bridge all the way to the place they stopped before. So, is this them? No, we've already passed them. Paving is all done on that side, waiting for the bridge so that they can make the connection. They are digging there to put a proper foundation for the mechanical stabilization. Took me a little while to figure out exactly what was going on, but I saw that today. It looks like they're building up a mechanical stabilization right there so they can have a good transition. They just needed to make a proper foundation like they're doing down near the airport. I realized that that's what was going on when I saw all the equipment going down into the hole today. There's a couple other spots where they're doing drainage work. Or at least they were over the course of the week. Camry, he was riding behind me, and I saw that he kind of wanted me to go faster because he was up a little close. I was like, I'll let him pass me. He blew by me, and it's like, congratulations, you gained 2 spots. 2 car lengths, 1 spot. Oh well. Came up the hill past all these people doing a very slow speed. Still not sure exactly why, but there's a truck in front. Got to him, and I was like, I got to pull over so I can see what's going on. And the Parkway Bridge has the cap on it, the cap on the leg. The leg is finished. So now the question is, how long are they going to wait for the concrete to set before they start putting the roadway pieces on? And they've already got a roadway piece. It's sitting right there. They pulled it off on, I think it was Thursday, yeah. And they've got it stood up. Maybe it was Wednesday. And it's sitting there against the side, which you can't see because you can only see it if you're looking out the right view. Anyhow, it's there. You can see it on the way back. And yes, I didn't have anything to pull off on here. I had to go over to the other side of town. So I just did the run down and back. They are building up here at this. This is another spot where they're putting in fill, and look off to the right hand side when the right side view comes up on Monday. And they are, oopsie, sorry. They're building that up, and they might put in some mechanical stabilization, but they still have to pull out, that truck was going slow. They still have to pull out the piles that they put in there to hold the dirt up while they were building the mechanical stabilization. And then they can start building the bridge. So you got me. Maybe it's all combined. Anyhow, whipped past those people, and I missed a tiny bit of work there at the exit, but I don't think they're doing a whole lot. And we've got grinding going on down near the airport headed north from Glenbridge Road. Got a lot of digging going on here. I know I can see it. There was an excavator, 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞, right there digging. You can just see him. Then I had a little bit of a surprise coming over the hill. The 𝐥𝐤𝐞 must be digging back to the rock, but you see that little stick poking up there? That's a drill. They must be drilling blasting holes, because I've never seen them drill like that without blasting afterwards. So that's going to be interesting. I wonder how much they're going to have to cut back. And that must be the only way they can do it, because they can't put a tractor on that hill and dig out its driving platform. That would be crazy. Yeah, cutting the limb off ahead of yourself so you fall off the tree. There's the grinder. And yeah, I was going the other way when I came back. It's facing the other direction, so yeah, I don't know. It's facing south at the moment. It was facing north on the way back, and it had about 8 trucks by it waiting to get filled up. So they're going to be cutting all of that temporary roadway out now, and that's going to take them at least until Monday or Tuesday, and then they got to tear up all the concrete. Glenbridge Road has everything up to it torn out. I don't think we're close enough to see that yet. That's over this rise. Yeah, there we go. And they are digging right here. No, we just went over Glenbridge. Duh. That is being dug out, and there's a bulldozer going down on the way back, if I remember correctly, that was digging the hole out. There is a lot of dirt getting removed here, and I mean hundreds of tons. That excavator right there was sitting on top of a pile that would probably fill up 5 trucks, maybe 10, who knows. I'm not good at guesstimating, but still, lots and lots of dirt is getting taken out. They must be taking this down to a slightly different grade, or a big difference in grade, I don't know. But they're working on from the exit to the other side of the bridge. I think they're putting down gravel, but they had somebody spraying here. They're pressure washing the bridge. Can't blame them, but at the same time I'm like, it really needs it? Who knows? That's not my call. And a bunch of cars coming on, so I had to shift over. But I didn't mind because there's a little bit to look at on the left-hand side. In between, they got a little bit of work getting finished up here. There we go. Looking mostly finished. That median's still not being touched, so they're not done yet. I don't know what they're waiting on, but excuse me. So pass through the boring part, because there's not anything going on in the finished roadway. Gotta wonder if that great big pile of dirt is gonna get torn down ever. Doesn't seem like it. Don't need that dirt anywhere else. Oh well. There was somebody doing something over on the left-hand side, and I saw them just as I passed, but I was in the left-hand lane coming back the other way, so I didn't get much of a look at them. But there is the sign post there that's finished, and there's at least one more down here. Should be finished right there, getting close to finished. Then Cane Creek and the drainage spots. Maybe that was drainage. Anyhow, I didn't get a good look. I don't remember. This always was the straightest stretch of road in almost all of the nearest 20 miles. Longest straight stretch. Always fun to come down here. Of course, we never ran it really fast, but you know, used to be able to. Silence wall here. And coming up on this bridge is where we start getting into the interesting stuff again. We have a lot of work going on under the bridge. They are tearing out all of that roadway. More than one excavator, if I remember correctly, digging away at the old concrete, and they're going to tear out what they need to and rebuild it. Oh, that truck was dumping a lot of water because they were kicking up too much dust. So dust remediation, dumping hundreds of gallons of water on it to keep it from being too dusty. And the crane, I would have liked to have watched that crane do this, but it went down the hole. It went down, it's now sitting beside the railroad tracks down there, and I would have liked to have seen that do that, because that is a big piece of machinery to be taken on a blasted steep slope like that. Just, did they drop the boom far enough that it didn't cause a problem? I would just like to see that happen. If anybody got a video of that, please share it, because that would be cool to watch. But if you don't, you don't. We missed it. But that's a big machine to be crawling up and down a hill, especially as steep as it probably was. So we don't have a whole lot of visible stuff on this side. This is the boring side. But cruising along, look at all the pretty colors of green. They will probably be going to fall colors. What is this? The end of September. Usually before middle of October. But man, it's been so warm this year. Good heavens, it's been hot. I wonder, because we're already losing leaves on a lot of trees. So when's the fall colors gonna just slam us? Anyhow, silence wall. They have done a lot of work on the silence wall. They still have that hole on the north end of the way station, and I guess it's just because they need to get cars in and out, trucks, whatever. And they have extended the wall, and it looks like they're going to continue extending it down to the hill, where I have been saying the last couple times that looks like they're going to. And there are a whole lot more legs waiting to be put in. This is going to be one of the longest silence walls I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen some in like metropolitan areas, but this is going to be drastically long. And they're paving the shoulders there. That was a nice stink. Not bad, but you know, a lot of stink. and they're doing some other work. There was a mini excavator. Was it on this hill or was it on the next one? I'll point it out on the way back. Again, a boring section, basically completed. They're just waiting on the other work to get done. So skip a minute. Yeah, it's about a minute to Clear Creek. La-di-da-di-da. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. And we go over the hill, and still got piles of rock in the gravel pits. Didn't look like it was sorted. And then that other pile of darker gravel, don't know what it's for, but it's still there. It doesn't look like it's been touched to be removed. I realized I needed to pass this van so I could get over in the other lane and get a shot of Clear Creek. It did look like they have the sides on. I know that that's not the median, but they've got the sides on the bridge as far as the rebar. So that is probably going to be poured. I'm not going to guess too far out, but by the end of October, that bridge will probably be close enough to completion that they can start working the transitions. And then we'll be shifted to the other side and they'll tear out this section, because this section needs to be torn out. I wonder if they're going to do anything with the exits. I don't know. Anyhow, taking this exit, and I was wondering what would happen here, and I wasn't too surprised, but at the same time I was a little surprised. They've got the exit as a one-lane exit. I was a little surprised about that, but not completely, because they have 2 lanes at the top. But they did cut all of that down and they just turned it into a nice graded drain. Take a look at the left-hand view on Tuesday. It's just a, well-crafted drain. So it's covered with grass and they're going to let it grow up. So coming up to the stoplight, and you get to skip the wait for the red light, because I jumped a bit. And we go down the hill, turn around and go back across. Let me know if I should waste my time doing that. I mean, I can cut it out until I'm getting back on the freeway, but it's a full run. Show the whole thing. If I should drop those 2 or 3 minutes, let me know. As far as editing, it's almost as easy to do that as to leave it in. Actually, it might take me less time. Save me a cut. But this time I didn't have a cut because I already had a green light. So flip a U-ey and head back. Wonder if they'll do any changes at all at this exit. It half needs to be repaved, but at the same time it doesn't really need to be repaved. And it's dropping down to 2 lanes south of Hendersonville, this exit, so it won't make a difference as far as that. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. World of Clothing building is looking really nice. Can't get much of a view there, but you get a good view with this side view. Be interesting to see what it looks like when the leaves fall in another month or so. And we come up to this stoplight, and again, you don't have to wait for the light. That was a bit of a jump. Oh well. So we're getting back on the freeway. And, it always feels like you're not really accelerating, even though you're, I wasn't trying too hard, but watching it without the sensation of acceleration is always the weirdest thing. Come out here, and I got a fun little surprise when I got down to the freeway. I did not see this coming at all. Boom. Had to back off. Then I had somebody trying to come in and pass us both, and I'm like, nope, I need to be in the left lane. So I punched it and was a little rude, but not bad. Jumping in front of somebody. You had to look at the other side of Clear Creek Bridge here. And all of the silence walls, and I still laugh about that silence wall. Whatever. It is what it is. So they're gonna set up the transitions. I'll say that by November they'll probably do the lane shift from the top of the hill down across the bridge, so that they can tear out this section of roadway. Got behind the Santa-Clean truck because I wanted to see if anything had happened to this pile of dirt, and we came to a stop. I mean, we were under 5 miles an hour for a little bit, but that big pile of dirt's still there. Doesn't look like it's been touched, but I can't see the other side, so I can't say exactly. But got a decent look at the other pile of gravel up here at the top of the hill. And they're going to be paving a little bit more on the shoulder, but they got to finish that concrete across there. They're waiting for that. There's a mini excavator to the right coming down the hill. Pretty sure it's right here. I couldn't tell what they were doing. Where are they? Nobody's doing anything on this slope. But just as I passed them, I took a glance to the right, and I saw some bolts sticking up out of the ground, and I'm like, oh, they're putting in a signpost. I know I saw them. Where are they? Is that them? Yeah, that's the mini excavator right there. I wonder I couldn't see them from the other side. Get a little bit of a glance from the side view. They've got about half a dozen to a dozen bolts sticking up out of the ground, which means that that's going to be a major signpost there. Wonder if they'll put that sign in already while everybody's on the other side and they're waiting for all that to be finished. That's going to be an interesting question, because they need to put up another sign on the other side to let people know they're coming up to the Hendersonville exit. And as you can see, this, well, you can't see a whole lot because of the paving, but that post hole digger, auger, whatever it's called, is still going. They've moved the silence wall closer, but there's still another 2 dozen, 3 dozen legs there for the silence wall. That sucker's going to be long. I swear it's going to go to that hill or more. That's just a lot of legs. They got everything pretty much finished up on this side. Again, I don't know why they leave holes in the middle of it. That's not my call, and I don't know what they're doing. Maybe all of the prefabbed same size stuff, and then they have to go back with the smaller odd sizes. Who knows? And then they've got the 4 legs, or 4 spaces. 4 legs, 5 spaces. Anyhow, right there, they're still bringing trucks in and out through that hole so that people can get to work and back. I imagine that will be finished when all the paving is done. That'll be like the last thing that happens before they reopen the weigh station. But they have paved another strip and where was the paver? I remember seeing the paver and that it had, oh yeah, it was up here by the bridge. Yeah, because I finally decided to pass all these people. I had a hole here and I could have done it, but by the time it really clicked that I could do that, these people started passing me and I was like, I couldn't do it then. So I got held up a little bit longer. This guy was moving slow. And everybody was just staying there, doing like 45. There we go. Finally got past all of them. And I passed everybody but the truck that was doing 45. But I needed to pull over so I could see the work on the bridge. And then he pulled off at the exit finally, which opened up the view a little bit. There was somebody doing something up here close to the bridge and I missed a little bit of it. But I was trying to hustle by. So there's something happening there, doing some finish work and prep for concrete paving. Maybe if you can look at it from the right hand side you can see a little better. But I just remember seeing that there was some work going on there. And then they've got all this work tearing this out, and then they've got the crane up here. He's tearing out the concrete, yeah. Then the crane was down in the hole and I'm like, wait a minute. That's a steep road to that spot there. Just by the distance, you know. That's a big machine to be moving down a hole. They've got straight and slanted piles there. I imagine that that's for reinforcement, but wow, that's a deal. And the mechanical stabilization looks done on that side. So I don't know why they would have two angles on the bridges, the bridge piles. They got all this concrete pretty much torn out, so that's going to be getting final prep. And they're grading, that's what they're doing, they're grading the side of the hill. And so all that dirt that's being removed right now is extra from the final grading on that slope there. Then we got to slow down a little bit to take this corner safely. That is a tight corner still. And I was paying attention, I didn't go into the other lane. And we get a minute or so of finished work. This really didn't take a whole lot of work because this whole section is so flat already. Nice big bottom of the drainage field flat spot. No wonder Hendersonville gets flooded out every time we get a major rain. They're the lowest spot around. See over there on the right, there is somebody doing a little bit of work there. I saw that just as I passed by. Otherwise I would have been in the right-hand lane to get a little bit better look at it, but maybe you can see some on the side view. Go across Cane Creek and up past the way stations and the Ag Center. And of course the car dealership. But they are still working on the signs, so I imagine that some of what we're waiting for right now, for not having all the lanes open, not to mention the fact that everybody else isn't open, is that they want to have the ability to put the signs in so people can see, here's the rest area, you got this far to well, go this direction to Asheville and everything else, and exit signs, whatever. So there is that one big leg there. I imagine that that will be getting put up before December, but we're going to have some high winds over the next 2 months, so that's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that. Always have high winds in October and November. Another view of the work at the airport here. It seems obvious to me that they're trying to build up the exit ramp, create a new exit on-ramp for the airport so that they can work the other lanes and get that all finished up. Because if they can move the exit over to the other side where it's going to be permanently and have that finalized and done, then they can just bring everybody else over to it when those lanes get finished up. A little bit more work in that area. Always interesting to see what choices are made. Now, these piles, I swear, these are the biggest piles of gravel I've ever seen. That's 3 layers tall. The big 30-plus ton dump truck has been dumping 30-ton loads, and it has gone 3 levels up. But there are trucks going down into that hole to pull out more dirt so that they can get it down to the final stable dirt or bedrock or whatever they're building from. They'll probably do a little bit of refill, but I want to guess that since they're not moving that gravel very far, they're going to put that back down as a mechanically stabilized section of ground so that they don't have to push into people's yards for the backfill. And maybe it'll have silence wall beams. That's interesting, because I'm sure that they're going to put a little bit of silence wall there since there are people living immediately beside the freeway right there. A little bit of a look of digging, and the if you can see it, the grinder, I think we already passed it, maybe not. Anyhow, grinder was going full bore. I mean, take a look at the left-hand side. It was thick and heavy coming out of that thing. The fastest and biggest I've ever seen it grinding. Or at least every time that I see it doing that level of grinding. Over the hill to Long Shoals. Another minute of twiddling our thumbs. Since we can't see Jack on the other side. I wonder what the plan is for those explosions, since they're going to be blowing out that rock wall. How is that going to be dealt with? And are they going to leave it unfinished? Or are they going to do some kind of stabilization to make sure that nothing will fall down? That'll be interesting to find out. Put up some backfill so it doesn't get water erosion. By, water gets in there, freezes, and pushes all the rocks out. That'll be interesting to find out if they're going to do anything special for that wall so that it won't get destroyed and undermine the roadway, which is possible, but, I'm sure they have a plan. Somebody just got a house. That actually looked like an old one. It had a bit of a bow in the front. But we come around here and we've got the auxiliary road. I still don't know that there's a name for it. Another pile of gravel sitting there with another big dump truck, 30, 60 ton dump truck, 70, whatever it is. And we come up here, auxiliary road, that looks like they're building it back up so they can finalize it. Again, we've got these piles sticking out of the ground here. They're going to have to take those out at some point in time and fill those holes so that it's proper. But the crane's there, so they're close enough to it that they built the crane. I don't know. You can see over here on the left, if you look closely, there's the side shot of the first piece. I do not think that they'll put on the other piece or the first piece until they have the other piece, simply because they want to keep it, balanced and get everything tied together. They did that on the big leg on the right there, so there's somebody talking and looking like they might be getting ready to start doing some kind of changes on the other side going downhill. I don't know. I wonder what's going to happen to get the roadway finished going down the hill from the Parkway on the north side, going towards 191 and French Broad, because there's a lot of piles of dirt in there. You could see some in the handheld when last winter that they were digging out and doing work, but you know, can't see anything with all the leaves on. Give it another month, we'll get some more shots of a little bit of activity in there, maybe. It's all too fast to really get a good view with the cameras, but oh well. This area doesn't seem to have changed really at all. I think they're just waiting for the north side to be done. So maybe 1 or 2 weeks we'll start seeing more work on this side. And maybe when that happens, they'll start moving those piles of dirt and they'll start finishing the roadway going up to the Parkway. Either way, I slowed down a little bit. We do have those plates moved over right there. So they're going to start putting the plates down to pour the concrete on top of. You can see the excavator there digging out the hole. He was doing some surgical work. He was moving slow, getting ready to work in the mechanical stabilization. And like I said, this started either Wednesday morning or Wednesday night. And I think they did about a 24-hour a day, just continuous pour to get that paved. And they poured the last little bit this morning. So maybe they didn't. Anyhow, I don't know how it needs to go. It doesn't have to be a continuous pour. But there's the machine. They're all done. You can see a little bit of wet concrete still right there. But that's completed. And now they're going to do the shoulder work down towards the bridge, the French Broad. And then we'll see what happens next. They still got to move us over. So are they going to do that before the bridge is done? Or is that going to be done when the bridge is done? So they can tear out this side and replace all of that. Who knows? You can see the circus tent now. So it'll be here. It's usually here for a month. Go check them out. It's kind of a Cirque du Soleil show from what I understand. I have not actually been there myself. I'd like to. It looks like an interesting, it's so small you can't have a big crowd. But either way, that is a full run, north to south to north. And I hope that it was interesting and gave you some stuff to talk about, be excited about, because it's getting close. It really is. We've still got another, I think, 6 to 9 months before they're planning to be done. But honestly, they're down to where they're making visible progress every week, instead of a lot of what happened before where they, well, heck, like what they're doing right now between Long Shoals and the airport. They've got a lot of, what's happening down there? I wonder what. Oh well. Thank you for watching the whole thing. If you have, please do the whole comment, like, subscribe, and everything. And I am working on the time-lapse videos. When this is being processed, I get a few screenshots. So I'll see you next time. Have a good one, and enjoy your week. We're getting there. Bye-bye.